Welcome to this special Admirals Cup edition of our weekly Global Sailing Highlights show, The World on Water, July 25, 2025. The Admirals Cup is back for 2025 and it will be held biennially hereafter by the Royal Ocean Racing Club. Established in 1957, the Admirals Cup is honoured throughout the world of sailing as the unofficial World Cup for offshore racing. Teams from Great Britain have been the most successful, winning the trophy on 9 occasions. Germany has won 4 times, USA and Australia 3 times each, with Australia being the holders of this prized trophy. Victories have been achieved for France, Italy, the Netherlands and New Zealand. First off, we have the preview of what is taking place. Then there's highlights of the Channel race and day 1 of competition.
You're hoping to go down west to the Wolf Rock. Mike will be bringing us reports as the boat are probably in fairly brutal conditions, but who knows, the wind may have lightened by then.
The Admirals Cup was a big deal. The unofficial World Championships of offshore racing.
It was always well known for bringing together the greatest sailors in the world.
Walking around, seeing the Admirals Cup sailors in all their fancy clothing and carrying sails up to the container, and I vividly remember thinking to myself, one day I want to be on one of those boats.
The Admirals Cup alongside the Fastnet grew up into a huge thing, and it was the pinnacle of yachting in Britain.
Laurie Smith at the helm, Ian Walker looking to see what the other boats are doing. Had to go around the top mark, German's already round, just about to raise the spinnaker. Well, they've got to let the power out the sails, it's a difficult manoeuvre this, get it wrong, they go straight in the side of the Dutch boat.
As soon as we knew it was coming, it became the focus of the program. You know, a competition between not just yacht clubs, but between countries. That had tremendous appeal. The international element of it was a huge component right from the start.
After 22 years, we're here. You know, we've brought it back and it's here to race, and I think the quality is supported by those people who are racing here now with us. The concept and the overall racing structure is the same as it was in its heyday. Short offshore race, 3 days of inshore, and then the ultimate Rolex Fastnet race.
This is one of those events that are magic, let's say. I'm part of a team, Django, that has 2 boats and we are sailing for the Yacht Club Costa Smeralda.
A historic event like the Admirals Cup after 22 years of this being an idol is great to be back at the forefront of racing again.
Here is special because it's not just a matter of wind, it's also current, plenty of things that you need to remember.
You know, the course configurations and where you're placed, probably one of the more trickier places you can sail because every day is a different set of challenges. I think to win, you're just going to have to be really balanced.
You need to be smart, you need to stay outside the jury room, you need to have the boat well prepared. You cannot come here and just go to sailing.
Everybody has their sort of known performance in all conditions and are very similar in some aspects, but you know, it's going to be exciting either way.
Sailing has a huge opportunity to grow up to the golden period of 20 years ago.
I'm really happy that the committee came together and made this possible, that we could have a young person and also a woman mandatory on board.
So we're with 13 people and we are all young, trying to go into the professional sailing world.
Yeah, what is it, 26 years ago, my really stepping stone into professional sailing. And today I'm 49 years old and still a professional sailor.
Gert-Jan Portman is our skipper and he has this project going on for a couple of years now. But yeah, it gives us a really good chance to show everyone what we've got.
It's been really amazing to come here and actually be able to compete. We have such an interesting dynamic coming from all these different classes and coming together to compete as one.
We are racing the best sailors in the world, on some of the best boats in the world, and for us to be even on the start line is remarkable.
Having 30 boats here, 15 teams is fantastic.
Actually, the entries demonstrate that people really want to win it and are taking it seriously.
I think there's a basic rule in Admirals Cup racing. It's the performance of the weakest boat is the one that dictates the result.
I think the most exciting thing for me right now is to see all these Grand Prix boats in the UK and to walk down Carrows High Street and bump into some of the best sailors in the world.
To be able to do it now and do it with my mates, do it with my wife, is a fantastic thing.
I think at the end of the day, if you come and compete in an event like this, you're walking away a winner regardless of what it shows at the end of the day.
Every one I've done has been memorable for different reasons. I'm looking forward to the next chapter.
The Admirals Cup is back 22 years later, right here in Cowes, the spiritual home of yachting. 15 teams, 30 boats, some of the world's most decorated sailors, and some of the most successfully campaigned yachts on the offshore racing circuit. Today marks the start of the Channel Race, the first event of the series, and with no discard on the table, early points are up for grabs.
Well, I think first of all, really nice that we got an Admirals Cup again. I'm still one of the generation who've done a lot in the past, and it was always one of the best events ever, so it's fantastic to see so many boats around here.
First time, everybody's a little bit unsure about how this is all going to go down, and that's kind of cool too, you know. We've all placed our bets in terms of picking crews and picking boats, and well, here we go.
It's going to be very tactical and strategic.
It's like a relatively short course, 165 miles, but lots of opportunities.
We're expecting a little bit of everything, to be honest. Quite a challenge.
We know we have a little bit of an underdog position, but we have the longest preparation. We've got a lot of support. I would like to thank my dad for doing this for us.
They've done a wonderful job putting this together. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. The people are here to race, and they're good people. It's going to be awesome.
30 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds, what?
Yeah, you know, it was 18 hours, so we thought about it more like a very long coastal. Everyone up on deck all the time. We got everything in one day, so it was great. And it was also interesting to see the difference between different boats as well, how they perform in different conditions.
Very interesting regatta. I think that all the crew did an amazing job.
These guys just don't come off the gas at all. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. The last few hours were pretty hectic.
This is where we gain a lot. I think that gain a lot to Bogest that was leading up to that moment.
It was almost like a movie. Like we were sailing offshore, and that is what you would dream of as a child growing up.
Sometimes 5 degrees of lift, 5 degrees of weather make you hero or zero. This time we were lucky.
20 miles out from the finish, Jolt, Bow Ideal, and we were lined up 3 abreast and just all in the mail.
It felt like we were, constantly fighting between each other. We were seeing each other all the time. It was tough in the waves, driving the boat and trying to keep that speed.
We definitely went at it with the intensity of an inshore race, even though it was a sort of coastal. There's lots of sail changes and we were always trying to think one step ahead.
The breeze was coming from 3 or 4 different directions at times, so it proved pretty tricky, and a mix of all conditions, so every dog had its day.
Yeah, I think for us our strength is really this inshore racing these next few days, so I think we're really happy that we've managed to hang on nicely in this windier offshore race, come away with a good solid result to start the event.
To take first in any one of the races is a tremendous honor. Everybody left everything out there, the whole fleet, so it was an incredible night.
Channel Race delivered a testing start to the 2025 Admirals Cup. Team Django led AC1 for Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, while Callisto topped AC2 for Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron. Italy and Hong Kong are now tied on points, as the battle now shifts to the inshore races next week. Welcome back to Cowes, day one of the inshore series here at the 2025 Admirals Cup. A fresh breeze is filling in on the course as the fleet prepares for 2 races today, one Windward-Leeward and one round the Cairns race. Yacht Club Costa Smeralda and the Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club are currently tied on 10 points, with the Yacht Club de Monaco close behind on 12.
I think big test today is probably the coastal. We're in the Eastern Solent, so there's a lot of reaching that can be done, a bit fluky when you get onto the island side. Yeah, there's going to be a lot that's going on, I think, once you get into that coastal.
For us, the most important thing is managing the traffic and try to do the shortest distance as possible. I think we have a good shot of doing well.
The Admirals Cup now shifts from the offshore endurance to the inshore intensity, and every point matters.
I still remember very clearly when New Zealand won the Admirals Cup in 1987. I was a young nipper, and watching all these heroes in New Zealand come here and win it. To see the event back is really, really cool. Around the Cairns race, the second one was a real challenge, with the rain squalls and the huge wind shifts at 40-50 degrees as the different rain squalls came through.
A couple of people did go from mid-fleet up into the hunt all of a sudden on those big ships.
The difference between the sail choices between the boats was quite interesting, so boats were performing better on some legs than others.
We're kind of on the underdog position, but we had a good boat speed. We managed to hold our place. The other boats, the Fast 40s, are sailing a little bit higher, especially on the downwinds, and we are sailing lower. So jibe on top of them. It was like a really good game. Our heroes are sailing over here. So yeah, it was quite emotional, I think, on board as well, and we loved it.
Pretty fun to go blasting in there and finish on such a historic line. Today we had good moments and things went well for us. It's really easy for it to go the other way, so we got to be smart and pay attention.
In France, Team Actual are building a new, huge trimaran to take on the world's best. Here is the design and launching of the beast.
Even if I'm afraid to see, can't escape the need to know what the future holds. Waiting for the stars to align, waiting for the stars to align. Waiting for the stars to align. Waiting for the stars to align.
This race is live, and with that, the 2025 WASP Games were officially underway. With 247 sailors across 4 fleets, Portland Harbour and Weymouth Bay were transformed into a theatre of foiling. Sailors launched as the breeze filled in from the west, packed with a punch at 18 knots and steadily built to 23 knots as the racing went on with gusts up to 29 knots.
We're here in Weymouth for the WASP World, so we've just had the first day of racing and I was out on course yellow, which was a good way out and some good bit of swell. It was a tricky course for sure, and definitely the later races as the tide sort of ripped up and made it a bit more wind against tide, and you definitely got it more choppy. So it was just getting downhill was the challenge of the day, and there was definitely a lot of stacks came from my end, but yeah, if you got down sort of in one piece, you were right. Some flat water would be nice, definitely, after a big day today. Well, I came 14th in the first one, or somewhere around there. A little bit of a tough start, but and I bounced back to a 3rd and a 4th, I think, so pretty happy with those. I guess they're keepers for the week, and yeah, just get a few more of them would be nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice day, and it was really gusty and really shifty, but I was having fun. I love to sail with heavier winds. And I had a few good starts, a few bad starts too, but I was able to catch up and just have some good roundings in the top 3 almost always. And I had some fun downwinds with high speeds. Yeah, it's amazing conditions, it's windy, it's light, it's chopped. Obviously at the top it was super flat, and then as you started to get to the bottom, it started to get choppy, but it's cool to just sail in all different conditions and just like show off what you know how to do. I mean, there's just a lot of boats and a lot of chaos. Luckily in the 6.9 fleet there's a little less people, and we just have the huge line for the 8.2. But it's really cool to just see so many boats out in the port and so many boats here in the boat park, and just meet a lot of new people from different nations. It's just so perfect. I don't really like sailing with other people, so it's nice for me to just be in the boat alone and just making my own decisions. But I just love how it goes fast. And you can even sail, like now with the new V2 rudder, you can sail probably like 7 knots and you can still get up. So it's just amazing how you can sail in all different conditions, and I love the speed.
Yeah, it was great. Started off with a round of 5, yeah, good number score. Then had great start that I was able to take into a 1, and then I was able to make a good comeback to get a 3, and a solid finish with a 7, all keeper scores. Yeah, it's going pretty great. Very happy to come away from North America with an envelope full of titles, and it's really awesome to see how competitive the American fleet is now that we've gone over to Europe. There's Americans and Canadians in the top 3s of pretty much every race today in our fleet, so it's great to see. There's 70 boats on a line. They're all foiling, they're all going fast. It's as much a survival as it is a tactical. Carving out your own space and being able to use it. It's very tight. It's very reactionary, and the fleets are so big. It's really hard to figure out where you are, and we'll just have to see as the results come out.
The 2025 Moth World Championship has officially come to an end on the waters of Lake Garda, closing a week of exceptional technical and sporting level hosted by Fraglia Villa Malsacene. The event brought together 137 top-tier sailors from 25 nations, including Olympic champions, America's Cup helmsmen, and SailGP stars, a truly unprecedented concentration of talent and competition in the Moth class. The wind was lighter than usual, holding at around 12 knots at the start and gradually dropping throughout the morning. In today's first, and ultimately only, race, Australia's Tom Slingsby took the win, followed by New Zealand's Jacob Pye and fellow Aussie Ian Jensen.
You have people from Lasers, from 470, 49er, America's Cup, SailGP, and you get together on the race course and you sail against each other, and that's why it's special. Racing here in Fraglia Villa Malsacene is really nice because we have thermal breeze in the morning and we have it in the afternoon. Peller and Ora is mixing, so you can spend your time on the water as much as you want. And for me, it's such a steep learning curve, so I'm using all that time on the water.
The racing was full on today. I haven't even checked the results. I think it was just like really crazy, really fun as well. I think it was really tight racing and more breeze than anyone expected. So yeah, but a really good day.